What if I told you if one of the best ways for you to do well as a multi passionate CEO is to get in touch with yourself and God? Now, it sounds very simple, of course, but literally, that is the basis and the source of authenticity, which is a key ingredient for people being able to make it in this online space, but especially as multi passionate CEOs, you being able to set your businesses apart from the rest of the industry or industries that you are in under one empire. And then when you are able to flow from that place of authenticity, that is when you are able to really thrive in a way that feels good and even looks good. All right, let's get into it a little bit more. Hey, I'm Charmian-Marie Beadle. Of course, I am your host and your coach, your multi passionate coach, that is, right? Now, oneness with yourself and God is actually a key thing or a key ingredient that I have infused with my overall approach, which is called the BOLD approach, right? Now, BOLD is an acronym, clearly, but it's also like, a double entendre, right? Where there's a double meaning, right? Which means, I am expecting that as multi passionate CEOs, we are making bold boss moves, right? But on top of that, bold as the acronym stands for business and brand, oneness with yourself and God, logistics, and digital, right? Those I believe, and based on my years of experience, those are the things that I believe we need to focus on as multi-passionate CEOs to get ourselves moving forward. Now, the interesting thing is that when I'm taking my clients through the bold approach, it actually starts with oneness with yourself and God, because I believe that you need to have a firm understanding of your purpose, who you are, your boundaries, how God sees you, what you've been called to do, the things that mean the most to you, like all of those things. Like, you need to have that understanding first, right? And then from that note, you understand that every business and every brand that flows from that is simply a manifestation or a format of your deeper purpose, right? So it everything ends up being unified under the umbrella of your purpose and the thing that God called you to do and the thing that you are here to do, in the earth. And then that in itself becomes your niche, if you really want to call it that, right? That in itself becomes your lane or the thing that you are pursuing in multiple ways. So for instance, I know that my purpose is to literally help to empower persons to do things for themselves or walk in self actualization so that they too may make an impact and cause a spark in the world, right? So, saying that to say, every single thing that I do is meant to inspire someone in one way or another, especially to follow God, right? And to, accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. And you'll find that the things that I do are highly impactful or inspire people, in one way or another. So coaching, I also do training, I also sing. I also have a ministry. There's so many things that I actually do. Even my payment portal business is supposed to empower persons to get hands on their money sooner so that they can go and do what they need to do. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, yes, that may seem like a stretch, but that's how literal I mean it when I speak about your purpose being manifested in different formats so that you can do what you need to do, right? So saying that to say, I always say that if you are out of alignment with yourself, if you don't understand what makes you tick, if you don't understand the things that you love most and make you feel most fulfilled, and if you don't understand what the Lord is has called you to do, and what the Lord sees you as, and all of those things, then you're operating from a place of emptiness. You're operating from a place automatically of confusion and lack of clarity. And interestingly, most persons end up feeling lost, especially in digital space, and especially as multi-passionate CEOs, because of a lack of clarity, because you don't necessarily know exactly, how you want to differentiate your businesses from others, because you don't necessarily understand how, this thing that you're passionate about really actually has to do with your purpose. Like, there's so many things that you are lacking clarity on, because you haven't gotten to sit down with yourself and with God to really get the type of clarity or deeper understanding that is required to really guide you like a lighthouse on your journey as a multi passionate CEO. So, with that, if you get nothing from this video, let me say it explicitly. I want to challenge you to sit with yourself and with God and really work on getting in alignment. In alignment. What is it that He has called you to do in the earth? What is it that you know that you are passionate about, especially as it relates to what you have been called to do in the earth? What is it that makes you tick? What are the boundaries you recognize you need to implement? What are the things that you know you are good at, right? What are the things you know you are not necessarily good at and are areas for improvement in that regard? You need to spend time getting to know yourself and acknowledging the patterns that have been in place over the years, and acknowledging the things that just make you you as an individual, and walk in that in boldness, right? And then once you are able to get clarity on that, and work on building the confidence where that is concerned, I guarantee that the results that flow from that, as a multi-passionate CEO, you'll start seeing different types of results. You'll start seeing yourself want to push beyond the barriers. You'll start seeing yourself want to show up different in digital, like completely, right? So again, I challenge you to sit down with yourself and sit down with God, get those answers, and start walking the journey in boldness as a multi-passionate CEO. If it is that you want a bit of guidance where that's concerned, check out the links below, and I'm sure you'll find something there that will definitely help you on your journey. See you in the next video.